And we are live. This is Travis from Carter Cow Capital Trade with Travis and Expert Advisor Reviews on YouTube. Hope everybody's doing very well on this Tuesday morning as we go through and be able to take a look and see what's happening with the market. I want to go ahead and get through the disclaimer real quick. And then after that, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education. And from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. And understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So as we go through, take a look at the overall chart, see what's going on with the overall market. I didn't get to speak to everybody yesterday as I was sitting up there and, well, actually I did, but it was very late. I didn't get to talk to everybody actually doing a live stream. We ended up having to do something a little bit earlier. But happy to see each and every person. Do me a favor as I go through and get everything else situated. Let me know if my mic is going well. If I need to adjust anything from mic settings and all other stuff, if it's too loud, too small, or you're not able to hear me if it's fading out, then just let me know that in general. Also, make sure that you end up saying hey as we go through and get everything else done. So, just checking today. Today is Tuesday. As we go through and be able to take a look at the market. Let's see. I don't know why it's not showing me the whole week. Um, there we go. Make sure we show this week. Cool. So as we go through today, today is the first fundamentals day of this week. We end up having retail sales from Germany that actually end up being worse. So we end up seeing what happened with the bank lending survey. That's just a report that ends up coming out. We end up having GDP that just came out for the Eurozone that actually ended up being better than expected in both areas for its quarter to quarter and year by year. And then after that, obviously a little bit later on today, we're going to end up having some overall news when it comes down to the New Zealand dollar with unemployment change and unemployment rate. That's the equivalent of non-farm payroll for them when it comes down to that with us. Going into Wednesday, Wednesday will end up being the first of the month. Remember, new month always comes with new data and everything else like that that you have to work with. New volatility that we're probably going to end up seeing. Obviously, all these markets happen in consolidation, so kind of makes it kind of difficult to be able to make a trade unless you're just one of those people that like to be able to scout that's inside of an overall move. For the people that've been around me, sometimes I do like doing that, and then most of the time I don't. I think that's you got better chances of being able to trade in low volume nodes compared to high volume nodes. All right. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at this from a weekly perspective. United States dollar was bullish all the way up until the middle portions of October. Then after that, the market started to be able to fall. It broke from that 13,251 area and then fell inside of two different consolidation points. And as we're looking at it right now, currently the market is right at the inner trend line and bouncing off the inner trend line as we speak. Now, with that being said, because the market has been in consolidate or has been moving to the downside, obviously we could say that this market is basically long-term bearish at this particular point. But we can be able to make a point and being able to say that this market is ready to be able to make this move to the upside based off of being able to fall down to the inner trend line. And then after that, the market has been bouncing from this overall area over the course of the last couple of days. Today would not surprise me if we start to see that the United States dollar starts to gain a little bit of strength and we start to see a little bit more volatility in the movement going to the upside. What's going on, Block? Um, from here, taking a look at it from a 2 hour perspective, market ended up popping out of this small consolidation that we ended up talking about yesterday. From breaking out of there, had a little bit of a retest, but we're clearly going to end up seeing if this market is going to end up. Okay, let's do this. Boom, there we go. Sorry about that. Um, we can see that the market is popping up to that 12,757 number that I think that the market's going to end up going up to relatively quickly in the next couple days, if not today, as this market kind of pushes up from there. Once it breaks out of that 12,757 area, then after that, it's telling you that the market is truly going to end up being bullish. So we need to be well in preparedness of being able to know that the United States dollar pairs are going to end up getting stronger. Now, we talked about how the United States dollar was in a position to where we're going to end up seeing um, we're going to end up seeing one of those trades where the market is kind of going to end up shifting because the weekly was in the buy zone or the weekly is still in the buy zone. and we take a look at the daily being in a buy zone as well, this may end up being the start of a transition trade. If you're not familiar with what a transition trade is, it's one of those trades that starts the overall momentum from one market going from either bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish. In this case, it'll be bearish to bullish. The United States dollar overall, if you look at it between all of the pairs that you may end up seeing that it trades against, if you're seeing that in all of the different pairs, whether it's Euro United States, Pound United States, US Yen, or anything else like that, if all of them are happening at the same time, then that means that the United States dollar is going to end up coming in strong. So you need to start getting ready to be able to load up on the United States dollar. So type in a Y, yes, that makes sense. As we go through and take a look at the market, if we're seeing this in every pair, then that means that the United States dollar overall is going to end up being strong, which means that we may see that for either 7 to 11 days or 2 to 3 months when it comes down to movement. All right. Now, oil. Let's talk about this in general. We've been very nonchalant about oil, and the reason why we've been very nonchalant about oil is because it's done been inside of this large consolidation area between 82.50 being the resistance and $70 a barrel being the support. Because of that, there's really no trade to be able to take until the market actually breaks out of that area. If we take a look at it from a daily perspective, you can clearly see that we've been inside of this consolidation for at least more than a month at this particular point in time. Let's see. Jeez. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Been in it for at least 25 days. So yes, we've been inside of that consolidation for a month, so we haven't been trading this for a month as a whole when it comes down to this movement. So until this market ends up breaking out of this area, there's really nothing to be able to do. That means that like pairs like US Canadian dollar, unless you have a consolidation strategy or you're a grid trading person, then there's no reason to be able to take a trade on this overall pair. So I'm staying away from that one as a whole. Let's talk about gold. Gold has been gold ended up completing the extension at 1872. From there, the market ended up getting all the way up to 1950. Since then, the market has been retracing. This is what I mean by transition trade. We can clearly see that the market is in the sell zone when it comes down to gold. Gold has been pushing up for the last 8 to 9 weeks to the upside, which is pretty normal when it comes down to movement. Now we're looking for a retracement in this overall movement. Because of that retracement, the United States dollar is going to end up expecting to get strong. Right, we've seen that with the United States dollar overall. When it came down to the index, we can see that with gold right now, that the index is expected to get strong, or that we're looking at gold or the United States dollar starting to get a little bit more stronger overall. So it would not surprise me if you start being able to place in sell orders in this position, that you may end up having a good chance of being able to make something off of it. Now, remember, this market is retracing. So the best movement or the best place to be able to kind of get out of this based off of Fibonacci's, will end up being right around that 1850 area. If you are interested in being able to sell it, that's the safe area. Now, the market breaking in, once the market ends up breaking this resistance, breaking the support at 1874, then it has a strong chance of being able to retest this overall consolidation point with a high was up at 1802. So anywhere around that 1850 area to 1850 will probably end up being that sweet spot where the market will look at being able to fall down and then necessarily U-turn at overall. So question is, can we find a position to be able to trade it? Currently right now, I'm going to end up saying no as of yet. We want to see if this market breaks its overall support level. Once it breaks below 1895, then I think that we do have a true position that we can be able to sell overall. But I would like to see something like this happen. Market comes up, starts to push up, gets halfway, and then after that makes another move to the downside. So we know that truly that this wave is ready to go to the downside when it comes down to that move. Okay, but right now, nothing as of yet. But I am interested in being able to get into gold or get into being able to trade United States dollar strength overall. Okay, Bitcoin. Last time I seen Bitcoin was at 22.8 or something like that. There it is. Yep. Bitcoin ended up breaking above that 24 number, or got very close to 24. I got 23,962. We take a look at it from a daily perspective. What's going on? What's going on, CMG? I will be pushing out your files I'll be pushing out your files today. Want to make sure I end up saying that. And you should be, finally, you should be graduated, right? Am I talking to a person that is fully graduated? Gas, please. We'll take a look at it. Let's see. Market from here. Just kind of break it down from where it was. Market was at 15.8 resistance. Oh, in 2 days. There we go. There we go. Um, and then after that, 18,240. I should know that. I really should know that. I just show up on the days that when everything is done. But I definitely will be there, obviously. 18,240, the market ended up going into consolidation again. Then after that, consolidated around this point. We do not have a true resistance at this point now when it comes down to Bitcoin inside of this zone. We do know that it has a great chance of, if it keeps on going up, the 24,350, and then after that, trying to be able to break out of this overall area, which is 25,000. Currently, right now, yes, I did do the push-ups yesterday. I showed up late, so I had to make sure I ended up doing them. Uh, uh, let's see, 22 310. 22 310 is the natural support. Currently, right now, I don't have a natural resistance. We could say that, obviously, if we push it up to these 3 points where the candles end up closing, we could say 23 790. But overall, um, we know that there's a better chance of being able to call a support being 22 310 compared to saying that the resistance at 23 790. But overall, we get into the hour and kind of see what's going on from there. Um, I would kind of stay away just a little bit more just to kind of see how the market's going to end up moving. If you're looking at being able to buy, I will wait for the market to be able to get down to 22 310. Um, if it goes below that, block is saying that you might see 21.4. 21.4 is the resistance or the past support, which was right here. That past support, if the market ends up breaking down to that level, I can see it falling down to that level block. But remember, if it breaks the support, it's going to fall down to a new support. So we're talking about somewhere around here. It may end up getting all the way down to 20,600, if that may end up being the case. Now, obviously, for me, for a person that would love to be able to get back in at a lower price, I would like to be able to take that number. But keep in mind, This is also with the expectation that the United States dollar is going to end up getting stronger as well. So hypothetically, we could see something to the extent of, let's see, could see something to the extent of this market falls, breaks below, retests, falls right here. If there's strong enough momentum, it may end up popping from there. If not, then if it does break this area because it is in that consolidation, I would not be interested until the market ends up falling in that area. So if it breaks below 21,400, then my entry is going to end up being at 20,006 if it does. Once again, that's hopeful. That's wishful thoughts if that does happen. Okay. Currently, right now, nothing to be able to do on it though. Gas. Let's take a look at that. I don't know if I have that on here. I'll take a look at that on TradingView. When you're saying gas, are you saying natural gas, or are you just saying, um, or are you saying something else? I just want to be clear while as I'm asking that. Are you saying natural gas? Okay, cool. Okay. We got another person asking for Ethereum. We'll take a look at that. Typically, um, quick and simple answer is if Bitcoin is in consolidation and it's coming off of consolidation to the downside, Ethereum is probably doing the same darn thing. And just want to be safe when it comes down to that. All right. Natural gas from a weekly perspective, let's kind of break it down real quick. Market has been pushing to the downside. We've had about okay. Market has been moving to the downside. It's fell into a high volume node at this particular point. That high volume node, highest point currently right now is at 269, so right around $3 overall. You see that most of that consolidation back in the early 2020s was right around that area before the market actually ended up pushing up all the way to $9.86. Now, with that being said, because the market has been falling down that much, I do expect that there's going to end up being some type of counter trend line break into the upside at some particular point in time. We just don't have any confirmation that the market is truly ready to go because it hasn't broke a inner trend line nor an outer trend line yet um, to the upside because the market has been falling overall at this point. So currently, right now, if I'm looking at natural gas and trying to figure out a position where the market is going to end up falling, even if I was to guess and say that it's ready to be able to push up now, I still would not make a move until the market actually ends up breaking the counter trend line break to the upside. Uh, Once that happens, then after that, I'll be interested in being able to give a better call off of this, if that makes sense. Um, Currently, right now, I would want to be able to see if the market's consolidating more or getting more in the getting into heavier consolidation. Currently, right now, I don't see that. I keep on seeing that the market keeps on breaking lower lows. Until the market consolidates, there's really nothing to be able to do off of this one yet. Now, if you are selling and you're trying to say, okay, well, where's the market going to ultimately end up going? Um, that answer would be, um, let's see, because I didn't ask you what direction you was looking at. Let's go back to the daily. Let's look at it from field perspective. There goes your high. There goes your low. 1, 2, 3, 4. BCD. Uh, A, B, C, D. How long, son? A, B, C. Okay, market broke a A. Go right here. A, B, C, D. Okay, market's already done. Market just completed the D extension. Let's see. Looking to see how this 25 FOMC meeting minutes about to go. Am I overlooking something? That's today, isn't it? Oh, that's tomorrow. Yeah, the market's gonna go haywire tomorrow. The question is it gonna go haywire to the point to where you it's kind of like how the market makers end up jumping in. Market ends up popping up very quick to the upside, then falls down very quick to the downside, wipes out everybody unless people end up having trail stops or quick take profits, and then after that makes its move a little bit later on throughout that day, like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then on to the night. That's the one thing that I wouldn't want to see if I'm looking at trading the news like that. But obviously we've seen that happen plenty of times. Um, Currently, right now, if I'm trying to sell it, I wouldn't be selling it because it's already going to hit the daily D extension. If I'm trying to buy it, there's no counter trend line break to be able to do anything off of it. So I'm just going to stay away from it. We'll go from there. Um, SOL Solana, I know that for certain. Uh, 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 uh. Let's see what's going on with this one. I got one more pair that I'll be able to go through after this. We'll go through US 30 and kind of finish it up. Um, let's see ACT. Yes, you have some time. What time is it now? 6:49. What's the market cap? I don't need to look at the market cap. I actually need to look at the actual pair. Come on now. It's not okay. it though. Okay, so Solana. Okay, I'm gonna give as quick of an analysis as I can, and I'm gonna talk about the strategy that we use while we end up talking about it. All right, market end up going into consolidation. From that consolidation, went through this high volume node area right here, pushed up into that area right there. There goes the low volume node spike that we end up seeing. All right, so here goes your free run area from here to here. And after that, market consolidated again. After that consolidation, obviously you end up seeing high volume nodes. Mason, keep it down. And then after that, we had that gap that you could be able to take advantage of right there. This all happened while obviously Bitcoin was making this big move, making this big push up to 22. From there, consolidation one more time. We end up having this large gap of overall spacing from here to here. Low volume node free run area, if you notice right there. Anybody that's ever been inside of this room understands that I don't like trading the high volume nodes. I like to be able to take advantage of these pushes that you end up seeing when it comes down to movement. Now, currently, right now, we're in a very large high volume node at this particular point. The market is consolidating. But it has not broken out to the upside as of yet. So currently, right now, if we're looking at this and saying, okay, well, what's happening with the position? Here's the natural resistance right here. There goes your support. Let's see, be a little bit more safe and being able to say, there goes your support right there. Our resistance is these two highs that end up happening. So in the near future, if we're trying to buy and you want to be safe, if the market breaks above 26, if the market breaks above 2640, then once it breaks above 2640, then that means that the market is going to end up going up to this high volume node that's going to end up being right here. So this gap from this space all the way up to 31. So from 2640 all the way to 31 is the next free run area that you can be able to get into and have and know that once you end up getting inside of the area, you're not going to end up having to fight with a lot of people as much. So that would be the buy trade that I'm looking for. I would not look at being able to trade anywhere inside of 2640 to 2208 unless you are believing that the market is going to fall down to support. And then after that, looking at being able to pop up. So if you're a buyer, then you can use strategy 4, which means that I'm looking at being able to get in right around $22. And then after that, try to ride it all the way up to right around 31 if you can. If you believe that this market is going to end up falling off and being able to fall to the downside, then obviously that short position will end up taking you right back inside of this consolidation low volume node spot right here. But from an upside position, I think that there's better upside in this overall move. The question is, when is it going to end up happening? You can place in a pending order and be safe right around 2640 all the way up to 3120. And I would feel comfortable taking that trade in my sleep once you end up figuring out what a new higher low is at this particular point. I'm glad you brought this up because I am looking now. I'm kind of interested in that, but I got to give it a little bit of time to be able to kind of develop this movement. Okay, so once again, once this market breaks above 2640, then after that we got a free run area all the way up from 2640 all the way up to 3120. If it falls down, it's just going to fall down inside of this consolidation zone that end up breaking to the downside, which is at 2220 all the way down to 17, let's say 1730. Other than that, we're in the middle of consolidation. It's only a 33% chance of being able to win, so I'm not going to pay attention to that. Okay. Cool. US 30. Want to go through this real quick. Market has been falling. We can see the market has been falling. Essentially, what it ended up doing, kind of like what I ended up saying before. Market breaks the support. It's going to fall all the way down to the new support. The new support on this one is at 33,352. Currently, the market has been falling down for the last 5 hours. Um, for the last 5 hours, almost 260 something points at this particular point. I do expect that the market may end up having a little bit of a retracement, and then after that, ultimately seeing the market fall again all the way down to this support before being able to make its ultimate move. Currently, right now, nothing to be able to do because we're actually in the middle of consolidation. If you end up taking the two trades that we ended up talking about last week, depending on when you end up getting in, you may end up missing or hitting on both of those. For me, I end up missing on the first one, but I end up hitting on the second one. So it's all dependent on how you end up placing your stop loss in the brokers that you end up using. So we'll stay away from that one. ACH will be the last one that we'll go through. Block, what you got me into? What the heck is this? Morgan said, I can't understand nothing, kind of lost. Cool. So what I'm going to end up doing is this. This to kind of help you out. I look at trading in three different capacities. One, you got trending order. You got trending orders where you end up doing Fibonacci's and everything else. You have consolidation, where obviously you end up trading support and buying to support, selling to resistance, or selling at resistance, and everything else does not matter. Stop that. Everywhere else does not matter. And then after that, I believe that when you end up trading breakouts, you can trade it in another way, and that's basically looking at high and low volume nodes. I don't trade high volume nodes. I look at trading low volume nodes all of the time. So what I'm going to do is kind of send over a case study on what I ended up finding out a very long time ago, or at least at the beginning of the summer. And it happens with most pairs at this particular point. Take a look at that case study, get back to me, and definitely would like to be able to see you in other sessions and keep on going through it. Obviously, it starts to make more sense. All right, so okay, Alchemy Pay work for blockchain payments. Cool. I put it through like this: if it breaks below 0.015, then it's going to fall all the way down to point 0.0140 0.011450. Obviously, that's the first spot, and then ultimately, what it probably might end up doing is doing something to the downside where it may end up falling all the way down to here. But Tether, stop that. This is working with Tether, so obviously it still has the U.S. dollar type of base, and we know that the United States dollar is looking at getting stronger. So I do expect that it's going to end up falling. I'm guessing your question is where you think it's going to fall down to before getting in. Block. I'm gonna guess your question based off of where you think it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall if it keeps on falling. If it keeps on falling with the force that it's gonna do, expect that it's gonna end up falling down to at least this area right here. 0.1318 all the way up to 0.1360. Anywhere in there, I think that's where it's going to end up falling. It turn past resistance into a future support, and then after that, start to pop up from there. I'm going to make green the fall area. I think it'll fall somewhere in there. Yes, I think it'll retrace a good amount of that pump. Ethereum, and after this one, I truly have to go. Let's see. Get down. Get down.
That's you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's me.
Come here and say hey so you don't. So, come on. All right. Say hey. Say hey.
Hey.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, there we go.
Dad, that's you. You got me.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. Ethereum's been inside of a large consolidation from 1660 all the way down to support being at 1515. So currently right now it's obviously been in there in the last 20 some days. The question is, with the news from FOMC, is it going to stay in that overall area, or is it going to end up falling down to the previous consolidation point where it actually was, which is somewhat right here, which is not really strong, but obviously we can see it happen. If the market ends up falling below 1515, then after that we're looking at this market being able to get all the way down to 1430. If I'm placing a stop loss in, my stop loss would be above this overall stop loss. I have to be above that high, whatever that high is. Talking about right around 1560. I think the market's been stagnant because I think it's waiting for news. I think obviously FOMC will definitely end up doing it, but it's definitely waiting for news before we'd be able to see a true move. Now, if we're looking at people that are just looking in the middle and trying to see where it goes, me personally, I'm not going to do anything off of it. But I'll be interested if I'm trying to buy, especially if you think the market's going to end up being strong. I wouldn't do anything until the market gets to that 1515 area. I wouldn't look at being able to buy until the market gets to the 1515 area. For that little amount of time, the market's definitely been ranging though. We can see the same thing with Bitcoin though. Bitcoin's been doing the same thing. Nothing yet. Wait until 1515. Then after that, look at being able to buy if that's something that you want to be able to do. If you think that it's going to end up hitting support and being able to bounce. If it breaks below, and if it does break below that area, the next area will be right here. Once it breaks out of this overall consolidation, the high or the resistance will end up being, and look at that. Is that just a large double top? Hold on. Or even a larger consolidation point. Okay, so let's say this. Hypothetically, if it breaks out of this 1660 area, which that means that the market will be strong and ready to be able to start making a big push back up to the upside. First area has to be able to get past. Well, if it gets past from there, then it would not surprise me if it gets back up to 2000 if it does that. I think 1660 is like the gatekeeper right now at this point. This market breaks above 1660 and holds above 1660, then after that, you might as well get your jetpack on because it's going for a ride. Okay, something to pay attention to. Something to definitely pay attention to. But if it falls, then obviously we got that first area of 1430. But if it does fall from there, then you're talking about all the way down to 1360. I'm saying wishful thinking. I think that the United States dollar is going to end up pushing all of the cryptocurrency market down a little bit first, but I don't know how long it's going to keep it down. But once again, if it breaks above 1660, then after that, you might as well be able to ride that out for the rest of the summer. I don't think it will not stop until 20. It would not stop until 2600, somewhere around 2600. We got that large push to the downside. It will have to cover up that large movement back up to the upside if that happens. Okay, so cool. Solana, let me go ahead and write these down so I can go ahead and get these out the way. Solana, Ethereum are the ones that I'm paying attention to for as cryptocurrency. Block, I got to talk to you. Obviously, we'll talk after this, but we got to talk to you about those too. All right. All right. If you like what I end up doing, please make sure that you end up clicking on please make sure that you end up clicking on the boost button for Trading View. And obviously, if you like what I end up doing on YouTube, make sure that you end up clicking on that like and share button. Obviously, for the people that are watching on Trading View, it would be nice if you go ahead and click on that subscribe button for what we end up doing off of YouTube, because obviously it helps out the algorithm for people to be able to see it. Plus, we also end up placing in a new video on expert advisor reviews on the most wanted EA. It's an algorithm-based EA using deep learning and other machine learning processes that allows it to be able to win at a very high rate. Last time I ended up checking it, it has not took a loss based off of back testing and forward testing. Did not take a loss since 2015. Now, obviously, you can do your own research with that and everything else, but take a look at it, obviously. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all in the next video. Take it easy.